Welcome to the 17th Annual DisOrient Asian American Film Festival of Oregon. I'm the Executive Director, Pamela Quan. If this is your first time at DisOrient, I'm so glad you made it. We serve as a platform to share underrepresented Asian, North American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander stories that share important, little-known histories to promote understanding about universal human experiences. We're here today to talk about two amazing stories that are the subject of the feature documentary Cirque du Cambodia. It's my pleasure to introduce the director, writer, and producer of Cirque du Cambodia, Joel Gershon.
Yes, hello. Great to
Hi
see
there,
you.
Joel. Great to have you here.
Absolutely.
And we are joined by the two leads in the film, the amazing Dina and Sopha.
Hello
Hi
everyone.
there. Oh my gosh, it's great to have you.
It's
Where are all of you?
I'm in Los Angeles now.
You're in LA. Wow.
Yeah, LA.
How about you,
me.
Sopha?
I am in Cambodia right now.
Oh my gosh. What time is it in Cambodia?
In Cambodia right now it's the 4 a.m. 7.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
I'm
very
not
very
smiling.
early.
I'm not
It's okay.
smiling at
I still smiling. It's okay.
you are. I don't smile at 4 a.m. So thank you so much for making time. And Joel, where are you?
I'm in Washington, D.C. I had been living abroad for many years in Bangkok in Thailand, which is how I came across the amazing School for the Arts that these two attended in Cambodia during my travels, because of course Cambodia is right next to Thailand.
Right.
But I moved back to the States. I'm originally from New York, but I moved back to DC in 2017, largely to get this film done and also to finally just be around friends and family after being abroad for so many years.
Right, right. Well, it's been 10 years since you all met. You two met. Joel, can you believe it's been that long?
Yeah, 10 here already. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Like
10
very
years.
fast.
You've
We met
lived.
each other.
Yeah.
The first time when we met Joel, we was in Montreal. Yes.
Yes.
That I remember. Is right. Yeah.
You lived a lot of life in 10 years, the two of you.
It is 10 years. We
Yeah.
spent a lot of time all together. Not a lot of time, but just because I'm always in Canada, and Joel he always traveling to come to see me and come to join us all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I could sense that bond. And audience, we're going to be talking as if you've seen the film already. So if you want to be surprised, go back and see the film and then come back and join us. So you've been properly forewarned. Joel, when you went to go visit Battambang, you happened upon the School of the Arts, and you seem to have been instantly struck by this school. Can you tell us what about the social circus program caught your eye?
Yeah, well, I have just always been a big fan of circuses. As a kid, loved going, and it was like my, thing I looked forward to every year. And I just have had a soft spot for the circus life, and I had never heard of the whole concept of what social circus is. The idea of kind of initiating a circus program in an area where there's youths that are dealing with challenging situations, or students who have been marginalized for one reason or another. And it turns out that circus is a phenomenal way to kind of bring community together, to give a wonderful activity for students to do, to put smiles on their faces, and then when they do shows, put the smiles on the audience's faces. So the whole thing, just like immediately when I learned about it through this like traveling I was doing in 2011, I came across the school through my travels, saw a show that the school was putting on, and it just was like an immediate thing. Just like you said, it hit me right away. What I saw at this school, the performance that they did was just mind-blowing and so heartwarming, and just beautiful art, beautiful artistry. And so as someone who is always looking for interesting stories. This is something that just grabbed me. I just knew that no matter what, telling a story about how circus is bringing joy to the lives of kids who are, dealing with certain challenges, just made sense to me as a really fun, interesting, and visual story.
Right, the power of art. Well, when you met them in 2012, you knew what their life was like in the village. You knew, kind of circumstances, and then you knew that Montreal was super different. So did you kind of could envision this transition for them as, impressionable 16, 17-year-olds? Did you have, were you a little bit concerned about how jarring that could be?
From my perspective, no, in fact, I embraced it. I really wanted to specifically show the two very different ways of life, to show their home back in Cambodia and, the life that they were now leading in Canada, which was kind of extremely different. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely part of it, just to kind of show to get the different perspectives. But yeah, I mean, I think that despite the fact that it was so different, they both immediately thrived in this new environment. They had never experienced any kind of cold weather before. They had never, this was a kind of a country with a different kind of economy where things are extremely expensive. And, there was definitely some adjustments that I saw, but they both seemed to just kind of roll with it and go with it and made friends immediately and, fit in super well and hustled and figured out a way to make it work for them. And obviously they both succeeded extraordinarily.
Yes, they did. Dina and Sopha, your stories resonate with me because I'm a child of immigrants. And like many Asian Americans, we feel a connection to the experiences that you share in this film about starting a new life, in a new country. We connect with that. And you're away from everything that's familiar. Were you relieved that there was a Cambodian community in Montreal? And were these your host families?
In Montreal, there we have like a Cambodia community, and we have some connection with them, and we have like how can I say this? We have connection with them, and we sometimes like we have we call that Montreal family. So sometimes we meet them on the weekend and everything, and how many 7 family we have so far?
7?
Yes, normally we have 7 family different. We have two Cambodia family and 5 no man. Nói cái này.
Yeah, I
No,
think
no, it's mean like family Daker. It's mean like family for
you can
him,
say Montreal family.
Yeah, Montreal family, yeah.
Caretakers while they're there.
So were they living with the the Cambodian host families?
On the weekend.
Just on the weekend. Okay.
On the weekend, yeah. Because we feel like the beginning when we come to Montreal, we don't know each other, like friend, like the people. So we feel like lonely, and then after that we say, oh, you have your family, you like a Cambodian family, like your Montreal family, and then on weekend we can go with the Khmer family. Sometimes go to Canada family for gift of the warm, because they just like, because we still shy, like we don't know nothing. We don't speak French. We don't speak English. We know nothing. Like we know just only where I go, but usually we don't know like about the culture, about the everything.
The
we don't know,
language, the
like
food, where to go.
Like, everything is new for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what foods did you miss the most?
For me is, I think, spaghetti.
Oh, you like spaghetti.
Oh, maybe that's what he
Yeah.
misses now that he's in Cambodia. But
Oh yeah, now that you're in Cambodia. But when you first got to Montreal, what food did you miss the most?
Eating like Cambodian food
Yeah,
or
Cambodian food.
okay, Cambodian food. It's I think is I don't know, I forgot. What is
How about you,
how-
Dina? How about you, Dina?
Me,
Uh-huh.
me, I miss everything. I miss all the great food.
Yeah,
Like
I can imagine.
I remember I brought them special pepper, Kampot pepper.
oh,
which is
Oh.
Oh yeah.
a really
Kampot
good pepper
pepper.
that they eat in Cambodia. So I brought them when I would visit them, and
yeah,
That's
remember
nice.
it's
Super
really
spicy, huh?
very, very spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, were there funny stories? Because you're both teenagers when you arrived. Were there funny stories that no one knew about that you guys were up to?
Mhm.
got some
Any
funny
any
stories.
funny teenager stories about being in a new country and
Funny
Yeah.
story or
Yeah.
the funny story is when we see the snow the first
Uh-huh.
time,
Uh-huh.
and then we were training, we were the like in the school, and then
Uh-huh.
when we saw the it's snowing, and then Dina and me running out of the school, and then you just touching the snow like without the
Without jackets?
but jacket, yes, just go.
No, during that
Because
time we was at school, like we was in the class, like
yeah, in the class, yeah,
in the class,
exactly.
and when the snow is coming, we used
Uh-huh.
like, oh shit, the snow's coming down. We used to run out from the class and try to make like a snow
Snowball?
Bull, like the bull, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And
like the bull,
later
the
on,
snowball, yes.
and later on, like all the student, all the teacher is coming out like, oh, what's going on? Hey, we still have class down there.
That's
Well,
funny.
yeah, the first time we never see.
First time, things we take for granted. Well, what types of learning that did you have to do at Phar Pon Lu Selapak outside of specialized training in circus arts? At Phar and also at the National Circus School at Montreal. Did you have to take other classes?
Yes, we have a different program. When we was in the first time in the when we arrived in Montreal, we call that high school. The high school,
Uh-huh.
because in the morning we have like the school normal, and then the afternoon we have a class for the circus.
Okay.
You know what
So
I
you
mean?
had to-
It mean
You had
sorry.
to learn how to read and write.
Yes,
and-
yes.
uh-huh. That's
That
great.
in the morning on Monday we have like a school normal, like
Uh-huh.
mathematics,
Oh.
have to
Uh-huh.
learn French for 4 hours.
4 hour per week.
Wow.
Yes,
That must
and
have been
and
hard. How much education had you had, classroom education had you had before you got to Montreal?
yeah, before we get in Montreal, we have we have a we learn doesn't we learn in like a little bit French before go to Montreal,
Mhm.
but I understand a little bit before go to Montreal, and Dina
Mhm.
also, because we had a class before.
Oh, you had French class
Yes,
and English
French
as well?
class. Yeah.
We can
No,
we
not
can
at all.
have some communication with the people when we arrived. The first time we arrived in Montreal, we couldn't say anything,
Yeah.
and at that time it was so difficult for us, especially for me. I mean, for us too, because like every time when we try to do anything, and when the coach told us to do
Yeah.
anything, especially with the acrobat,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't understand, you kind of like don't know what to do and risk
You
your
can
life.
Right.
imagine, because when the coach explain how to do, and then we don't understand nothing we do. Okay,
Right. When you
we can
True.
just say okay all the time, but
Yes.
Okay,
on
they say like,
on
hey,
my hand, we like
say,
okay,
Sopha,
should I
Sopha,
do that or that?
And you're
hey,
like, Dina, what do you say? Dina, what do you say? So
like,
that's
hey, my coach said like, hey, Dina, do front flip, I do bike flip.
Yeah, that's true. When you get corrections, like they had to have patience and you had to have patience with them. So it probably took a while, but patience and hard work. Sopha, it made me smile to see your partnership with Vlad. Do you still keep
Yeah.
in touch?
Oh, good question. No,
Too
actually,
hard?
like,
Mhm.
yes, it's not hard. It's just like because shit.
It's
It's
hard to
mean
say.
like it's hard to say because when we finish the school
Uh-huh.
and then we don't touch
Yeah,
together,
yeah,
and then we have the contract different, and then he had the contract.
yes.
So and then after that, after 1 year, we
Uh-huh.
have one company asked for us for a contract, but
Uh-huh.
he was not available, and
I
then I
see.
feel like, okay, it's okay now. I don't want to like
Disrupt.
yeah, just rap, yes,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
yes, gotta do what you gotta do right now.
Right, exactly. Well, it seemed like you
Yeah.
had a unique, you had some unique movements in your partnership. So, maybe someday you'll be able to explore it. It seemed like you're a
Yes,
little, uh-huh.
I have
Mhm.
already planned right now because maybe when I go, I will go to Montreal like very soon. So
Okay,
I will write to him to make him like just like make a good friend because he's a good friend.
yeah,
When we
right,
go to training together, he's very a good friend. But just
yeah,
when we work together, it's not like good connection together.
right, right.
That's why it's just like go out.
It's,
Finish.
yeah, too hard to keep that going. Well,
Exactly.
you seem like a big prankster because when you went back to visit Cambodia and you did not tell your mother you were coming, I about lost it. And like, do you play jokes on people all the time?
Yeah, all the time. Yes.
I could see that. I could see that. And I noticed the progression of your language skills, both of you throughout the film. It was remarkable. Joel,
Thank
how
you.
did that present issues for you? You had to get all these different translators because all of a sudden they're like fluent in French in the middle of the film and they're speaking English and they're trilingual.
Yeah, that was quite a challenge, but one that I kind of enjoyed and embraced, and it just kind of made the whole project even a little bit, it's just an extra challenge to deal with. But yeah, I didn't really have a true conversation with these two people until knowing them for about 5 years because
Oh, yeah.
I spoke no real Cambodian language,
Mhm.
and I also don't speak French.
Mhm.
So, we would always have a translator around. Sometimes in a pinch, I'd have to use Google Translate, put it into my phone so they'd have the gist of whatever question I was asking.
Yeah.
And then they'd be able to answer it. I didn't really know what they were saying. I just assumed it would be something interesting and worthwhile. And, I guess I'd just find out later. But yeah, it was also a big hassle. I had to work with an editor that was bilingual who knew French and English. And then, looking over I had a translator do all the Cambodian transcripts and all that. And then even so, just making sure that all the subtitles sync up with the language because I don't know exactly what's being said at what time. So yeah, it was a lot of challenges, but it really kind of made it even more fun and just even more exciting when I found out a long time later what it was that they actually said. And I found out it was something hilarious or brilliant or, perfect. And, it was like interesting dynamic to do it that way. But this whole project was just always, I found these two guys, they were just the most incredible subjects ever. I just wanted to follow them wherever I could. I followed them 4 different countries. And over years, just because I believed in them, I knew that, sort of everybody knew that they were just, just such amazing people and hardworking and, great futures ahead for them. So, I took a chance. There was no guarantee they were going to be able to make it to the big time, but I believe that they would, and they're still both doing amazing.
They are. Well,
but it's
uh-huh.
very good, Gerald. I have I used to remind like we don't understand each other, but you try the best for understand everything, you know.
Mhm.
I remember, and we make a joke all the time with Joel, and even he don't understand, I try to make a joke with him. He's just like, ah, and then we can touch like keep in touch like I don't know how to say, like we always like can understand even we
Yeah,
don't. I don't speak French. Yeah, I don't
right,
speak English. He don't speak.
right.
He don't speak French.
Mhm.
He just when we all together, we can understand. Just like I don't know, just we can
You
understand each
just
other.
can't. Some things transcend language, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. I I was touched by your trip back to Cambodia after 4.5 years of being away. And Dina, did you feel like a different person when you went back to Cambodia?
No, actually, I don't feel so much different.
Uh-huh.
You feel that I grew up a little bit more than
Mhm.
before. Uh, like before, like that. Before I was young, when I go to well, when I went to Montreal, I was young. When I go back to Cambodia, I feel like I'm grow up a little bit. I know how to sing. I know how to like make things work. So yes, but my personality is always like the same. I like my family, I like my friend, I remember everything, so I know where it come from.
Right. I loved that both of you throughout really were so proud of your culture and your identity, and we're very giving and sharing about that. Uh, Dina, I was really proud of you when you told the story about asking to have the Cambodian flag hang on top of the big top. That was huge. It had never been done.
Yeah,
How did it feel to you to see that?
I feel so proud, and I don't know. The first time I see it, I'm like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, I just proud, like from zero to from A to Z.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Did your
And,
parents? Oh, go ahead.
no, and at that time they didn't have like a Cambodia flight because we
Mhm.
never like have they never have like Cambodia people work on tour with them on with Cirque du Soleil.
Huh?
So they never have it.
Wow.
So they try to have it for the premiere. We call that premiere, the first show we made. And at that time they don't have him. Like, please make it quick, make it quick. So
Wow.
my family is gonna come and see the show,
Oh, that's
and
great.
I want them to be proud to be
Oh,
like
wow. Well, before you had could share that with them, did both of your parents have a chance to see video clips of you in these professional capacity? I mean, they knew you as, little kids, their children, their sons, but could they see the professional side of you before they could see a live performance?
actually they never see like live, but they saw some video by
Oh,
Joy.
good.
Joy Joy went to my place, went to Cambodia to
Huh?
Sopha place too. So he record everything that he saw in Montreal.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that
So,
what we did. So we show those video to my parents and to Sopha's parents.
oh,
So they
great.
saw it from Joy.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a gift, Joel, to be able to just bridge that, bridge the
Empathy.
distance.
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of hard to think, or it was just a few years ago, but even in like 2012, 2013, them being able to show videos of what they were doing wasn't quite as easy. So
Right.
I was like kind of like a go-between. I'd bring my
Mhm.
external hard drive and my laptop, and you can even see like in the movie, there's like one scene where Dina's mom is like clapping for him, and she gets his nephew to clap for him. It's pretty cute.
Oh,
But yeah, just I'd be able to show them what they were up to. They weren't even, they would talk. They would, but even having video chat was like a little bit wasn't so standard in
right.
2012, 2013. So those first couple of years, I was like really the go-between because they hadn't been home for 4.5 years. So I'd be giving the updates. And
That's nice.
yeah, and I mean, I would say like I think he even is in the movie like what do you think of, do you think they'll make Cirque du Soleil? And the parents didn't really even know what Cirque du Soleil was. So So they, they just realized that they were awesome and they were, going to be training. Of course, they missed them a lot. But it was, yeah, it felt like somehow I was like, somehow blessed enough to be in the position to kind of tell their parents that they were both okay. I saw them, they're great. And of course, they'd always record messages that I would show in the Khmer language, Cambodian language. They would record messages and then I'd show it and they loved it. It was like a great way to kind of be involved. And also, it was always good for me to get the updates from the parents on how they, what they thought about the whole situation. And yeah, the whole project was just a giant fun adventure. And I loved every second of it, being able to travel, being able to be involved with these two guys' lives and their families. And then they just did such a great job and continue to do such a great job. The story is even evolving. I think there's one piece of news, since this is people have seen this movie already. I think there's some big news to share about what's happened since the film. I don't know if you were going to get to that.
Yeah. Well, let's get to it. What kind of news do we have? What's going on?
Well, Sopha has some pretty big news at the end of the film. He was off in Europe and figuring things out, having a good job. But what happened after that, Sopha?
So I would like to announce right now, because I have a contract with Cirque du Soleil, and then I will start very, very soon on this month. So I will go.
Where are you headed to start that?
Yes, I will be joined with Crystal from Cirque du Soleil this month for the creation in Montreal. And then we will on tour in US for 6 months in the US.
Wow.
So
congratulations. That's
thank
huge.
you. I'm so glad also. I'm so glad
Cambodia in Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, I'm so glad also to announce you guys and to the audience also. Yes.
Gosh, and then everyone, we're all so proud of you and so happy. So that is amazing development after the film. Both of you have such professional success. You've developed so beautifully as human beings. But all of this hard work came with some sacrifice. Can you share a little bit about that? It looks so glamorous and beautiful, and you're so gifted in your skills, but there's some personal sacrifice. Can you share a little about that, Dina?
Go ahead, Dina.
Yeah, Sopha's like, yeah, you take that one, Dina.
If we talk about sacrifice, we kind of like sacrifice like a lot of our time and also like our family too. We left when we was like 16, and even like we miss family a lot. Even like I know that my mom got sick. I don't go back to Cambodia because I want to stay in Montreal to keep going what I want to do, to follow my dream. But and also I sacrifice like food, Cambodia food, and go to Montreal and eat some food that we never know what is it. Eat batat. Eat food a lot, and some food that we never know, and we learn how to used to it. And yes, we lost friends.
Yeah, friends. The time with friends and family. Sure.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Sopha, about personal sacrifice?
Yes. Also, but actually, I love it to have a new thing like in Montreal, like, because we know when we go to Montreal, we have to learning something new. But the one thing is, it's very hard for us is like the food, like because if we don't eat anything, we don't have energy for training, for like living, we have to eat,
Mhm.
and then for me, like it's very hard. It's like the food because I can eat anything, like the
Right, your
taste.
system's not used to it, like dairy
Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And but the got how to say cafétéria. Comment on dit déjà? Comme cafétéria. À la cafétéria, we ask all the time. We ask all the time for having a rice to make a rice or something, rice with fish.
Yes.
With
something familiar.
yeah, exactly. For giving energy, because they have always like potato, like
cheese,
shit,
yeah,
all the time, and then we eat
milk.
all the time with the banana, all the time. Eat in the morning, afternoon, and night. In the banana, palm.
A lot, yeah.
It's very hard for me, yeah.
Right.
But at that time, Sopha had some bahok from Cambodia from his mom.
Yeah, bahok from my mom.
Yeah, right.
Your mom hooked you up, huh?
Yes.
That's nice. Well, you have this beautiful family back at home in Cambodia, huge community who loves you. You have Montreal family, you have your circus family, you have, your worlds have expanded. It's pretty neat. Coming out of the pandemic, the arts have been hit a lot. Are shows starting up again? What's going on, Dina?
The show,
yeah.
actually, the show is already coming out for me, but on how to say this, bad luck. So I got injured. I got injured like 6 months ago. I tore my Achilles tendon.
Okay.
So now I take a break and wait.
You're gonna rest.
Yeah, rest and and later on, maybe in April, we're gonna retake my contract, but it's not the same company. Maybe it's gonna be with another company in Montreal.
Okay.
It's called Seven Finger.
Okay, so that's where we keep an eye on you. Maybe we'll follow you and see where we can see you next, right?
Yeah.
Well, we wish you.
Huge. Yeah, they're both huge on social media. If anybody here wants to be entertained by them on a regular basis, he's got thousands of followers on TikTok, Instagram, always doing cool circus stuff and flying through the air and all that stuff.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, well, rest up that Achilles and then you'll be back at 100%. I loved that when you were at Volta, that style seemed to really suit you, like you were always dancing in the street and doing, beatboxing and playing music and, and all of that. And it seemed like that contemporary style really suited you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be back.
I like that. So I like to prove myself with my move.
Yeah, I was gonna say on social media, he's got a great post of him with the comeback training. It's really inspirational, even though he was injured pretty bad. I can already see like on a daily basis, just him getting stronger and stronger, and there's no keeping Dina down.
Right. Well, I guess in closing, I'd like to find out if there's any additional ideas or projects that you want to share with the group before we wrap up. Joel?
Well, just it's such a pleasure that you've watched the film. Hopefully, if you enjoyed it, you'll tell others to check it out. One piece of news is we are going to make this film available to the public to be able to rent and so forth. And that is going to be on World Circus Day in April, so late April. And, if you love it, follow the film, tell your friends. It's all that word of mouth kind of thing. It's not a huge budget thing, but I think it's a story that people hopefully will love. And certainly they'll fall in love with these two great guys.
For sure. Thank you. Sopha, anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, I would like to share. If you guys see me outside, like in the street, say hi to me, and we can talk the selfie together and send to your friends, to your family. It's my pleasure,
Wonderful. And what's the name of the show again that you're going to be in?
I will be the show's name is Crystal.
Okay, Crystal.
Yeah.
Great,
Crystal,
thank
yes.
you.
Yeah.
And Dina, anything you'd like to say in closing that you'd like to share?
No, I don't know how.
We'll
Share.
follow you on social media.
Yeah, come
Okay.
follow.
Follow us on Instagram.
You
Yeah.
still do
Instagram or
beatboxing and
TikTok.
play music and all that.
And you can see my move more than
Okay.
in the video because I post more like stuff, and like a lot of people say that I'm crazy with the move, but I don't know, sometimes it's real. Now I
Okay.
take it chill because it's not good to jump outside too much.
Oh,
So
well,
You look so quiet, Dina, right now.
yeah.
But on the video, it's not quite like that.
I know.
You move
I
like
know.
so
We see it.
crazy.
Well, both of you have so much personality. You're so giving as performers. You've had this incredible life, and but on top of that, you're beautiful, beautiful human beings. You are elite, world-class circus performers. It's joyful to see your expressiveness and your confidence. And, I think both of your parents have to be proud. They came from simple life and they produced these wonderful people, and really you're an extension of your parents. So they helped produce you. So just wanted to say thank you and acknowledge your parents as well. Thank you for inspiring us all, and please come back anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Teacher, thank you.
Thanks.